This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We're here in downtown Vancouver right now at the Convention Center for a Students for Liberty event, and I'm joined by Theryn Meyer. And
Hey everyone.
Thanks so much for taking some time to talk with us today. Now, you've been very outspoken as a trans woman about Bill C-16 and essentially the policing of our language. Now, on Press for Truth, I've talked about a lot of trans rights issues and things of that nature, and some people have gotten upset with me for my views on C-16. So as a trans person, I was wondering if you could explain to people out there what the problems are inherently with this particular bill.
My problem with the bill is that it involves the state into our everyday speech in a way that is unprecedented, especially in Canada. I oppose the bill especially because of the terminology used and the definitions proposed by the sponsors of the bill. And basically it is the terms gender identity and gender expression. And the definitions proposed are so vague and all-encompassing and even upside down contradictory that it includes everything, and that there's no way to know whether you're following standard because there is no standard. So gender identity, for example, is defined by the sponsors of the bill, specifically the Minister of Justice, Jody Wilson-Raybould. She defined it as one's internal sense of being a man, woman, both, or neither. That's just everything. And so just the possibility and the capacity for transgression and once this has become law, the possibility for legal pursuits is very concerning. And some of that has already played out. I made a video about this on my YouTube channel just a while back about a non-binary lawyer who was speaking on behalf of the Canadian Union of Public Employees. She made a video basically talking about what are gender pronouns, why are they important, and why you should use the right ones. And her number one reason was that, well, it's the law now. So she basically cited Bill C-16 in order to intimidate public employees and people in general, because it was shared to the public. She was using the bill and the law to intimidate people into using their pronouns. So it's compelled speech. It's unprecedented, the idea of compelled speech. Thus far, there has been no law that told you must say this. We've had, laws that say you can't deny the Holocaust, or you can't advocate genocide. But they're negative, as in what you can't do. But this is unprecedented because it tells you what you must say this.
Right.
So it's compelled speech rather than prohibited speech.
And it seems that when it comes to what people must say, there's a bit of a slippery slope there, because for someone who wants people to accept them as a trans person, that's fine. There's a struggle there that they have to deal with. So they may see someone else someday who says, well, I want to identify as a cat. And this wouldn't this make this trans person think, well, who's to stop me from telling them they can't do that if I wanted to be accepted as my thing?
Well, certainly, if being trans is all about just basically a feeling, then if that is the standard, then of course you can't go by anything else. There is no other basis or any other standard by which you can say, well, no, maybe someone identifying as a cat is not quite the same, because it is the same according to the postmodern contemporary leftist definition of what it means to be trans, and it basically just means to have a whim of a gender, and whatever you describe it as that is what it is. So if you want to describe it as like non-binary or agender or fifth gender or sixth gender, that is what it is. And it puts all of the authority on the individual making the claim and all of the responsibility on the rest of the world. It's a problem.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for people who are maybe just coming across this kind of information for the first time, what kind of things do you talk about on your channel, and let people know the channel so they can go to learn more from you?
Sure. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/c/Theryn Meyer Speaks. It's THERYN MEYER. I talk a lot about trans issues. I feel like there aren't enough people online really talking about trans issues in a way that is comprehensive or reasonable. It's just basically, this is what it is and you must just follow this no matter what, rather than this is what it is and this is why it might be this way. Here's an argument for it, or here are a couple of arguments for it. So I talk about trans issues, but I also talk about political correctness. I give my thoughts on current events, whether it was the hashtag Take a Knee debacle or the Harvey Weinstein thing. I did a video on that. So yeah, I do regular commentary as well.
You mentioned, there's almost like like you said, like a loss of logic amongst some trans people, and I'm wondering why that is. Do you think? Because as far as I understand, you are a trans woman who understands that you were born a man, and that's not possible to ever change. But some other people out there won't accept that basic biological scientific fact.
Of course, there are certain parts of my biology that I can't change, and if you didn't know that and you thought that you can literally transition all the way, then you were probably lied to by someone.
Right.
So yeah, I think there's a conversation to be had about those things, and I certainly think that there's definitely a denial going on amongst a lot of trans people, and it's a problem. And so I'm trying to encourage more logical, reasoned discussion rather than just denial and authority. Like, you do as I say, and I'm not even gonna give any kind of cogent argument. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah.
Well, I think that's fantastic. That's exactly what the world needs more of moving forward, is more of that kind of reasonable, logical thinking. So thanks so much once again for talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me.